Well, hi guys, welcome once again to me, Fishing Rob and the Novice Angler. What are we going to do today? Well, this is a treat for you. We're in the new year. Happy New Year everybody, 2018. Mustn't forget, I've got a lot of foreign viewers now, so let me see, I think Dzień dobry, jak, which is Polish, I think, something like that. Hi, how you doing? German, Guten Tag, wie geht's Ihnen? Let me see, I think I've got French as well, so what's that? Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Etc, etc. We won't bore you for the next 10 seconds with that. But yeah, new year, January 2018. Well, first of all, a big thank you to all the subscribers and viewers of the channel. Over 750 at Christmas, so absolutely excellent. I appreciate all your views. Now I'm going to give you something back. Not only have I shown you how to make your own little rig holder for your hair rigs, etc., nice and cheap, today I'm going to give you a little competition. Now this is where you guys come in. I want you to send into the comments, I don't mind any of the comments on any of my videos, send in your best fishy story, basically the one that got away, or madcap happenings on the riverbank, a great big fish you went charging down the riverbank and fell in the river, still trying to land it, whatever, make me laugh. Okay, so if you can send me an absolutely cracking little story, I'll have a look. Let me see, where are we? About the 3rd of Jan now, so let's just say by 15th of Jan, there you go, something like that, nearly 2 weeks time. Give me as best stories as you can get, and send it in on the comments of any of the videos, etc., and I'll add it into my little competition, and the one that gives me the biggest belly laugh, I'll pop back out again in the video and I'll tell all the lovely viewers about that. But what will you win? That's always the best bit. Right, well, I'm going to put in a good selection of these. Now these are basically a PVC, you might say a pellet. You can literally lick those and stick them round the top of your hook, so it stops your hook snagging on anything. It prevents tangles as well. So I'll give you a good selection of these little pellets. I'm going to give you a good selection of floats. Now these are self-cockers, they're weighted at the bottom. You only have to put them at the bottom on your line with a little stud either side, little pellet either side, and they will just sit up quite happily like that. So they're all perfectly weighted. I'll give you a little selection of them, and there's some of the small ones, different coloured tips as well. I'll give you some of these. Now that these are often known as bagger pellets or bagger floats. They're a quite cylindrical float, probably around 3 or 4 grams, something like that. So they will sit more or less to the surface by their own weight. They don't need a lot of extra weights, very similar to the self-cockers, but they're very good on windy particular days. You can have these in the margins quite happily without too much wind effect. So I'll give you a good little selection of those. The reed wagglers, these are very good on windy days when you're a bit more out there in open water. As you can see, they've got a lot of weight at the bottom there to sit upright, and you can weight them however much you want till you get however much of the tip showing above the surface of the water as you want. And they're very good on windy days, as I say, because there's less drag on the thin stems. So they're very useful, and they're called reed wagglers. That one's a sort of a mid-weight, you can see that, got the weight down the centre there. But again, you add a little bit of extra weight to pull it down into the surface of the water. You have what they call carper floats. These are slightly different. Again, they have the more bulbous weight at the bottom, plastic coated top, and again you weight them appropriately to what you want. So a good selection of floats, couple more, another one there, so loads and loads and loads. But I've got a special one for you. There it is. Now if you do any of your fishing out Asia way, then there is something over there called, I think they call it Paulo wood or Pualo wood, and here's a unique float made of that wood. It's absolutely unique. You can only really get it over there, or I think North America. I think they also do these sort of floats, but so these are quite limited edition. I'll try if I can get the top off, take this out for you guys. And as you can see, the top is very, very bendy. So absolutely unique and a very nice float indeed. So I'm going to pop that in amongst the collection for you if you win your little competition. But it's not just floats, and it's not just PVC pellets either that you can put on. Also, I forgot to mention, you can actually put your hook straight into that, bury that over the end of your hook, cast out, and of course as it dissolves, 30 seconds, minutes, something like that. The water's a bit colder, it might take a bit longer because it dissolves better in warmer water, but eventually it will pop up to the surface, and that also acts as a good marker for you, because you know that your hook has then settled down maybe on some weed or something at the bottom, and it hasn't just dropped through and buried itself inside the weed with your weight, or your method feeder, because I do a lot of method feeding, as you guys know. But this coming up to the surface and then finishing off dissolving is an excellent marker for if you're catapulting your weight, your baits out there and your feeds for the swim. Gives you a good marker for where your hook is. But as I say, that's not everything. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a set of zig rigs. Now these are pre-made rigs. These ones are 10 foot in length, and as you can see, the different coloured foam. Now a lot of people on the hair rigs of the zig rigs will keep that rig absolutely well poised in the water by fitting a bit of foam to the hair on that rig. And you've got different coloured ones there you can cut off. They go right through. I don't know if I'll wiggle it out. And this time, it's always a bit fiddly to get out, especially when you're on camera. How long you got? Oh, I can't. I'll feel. Oh, no, it is coming out. It is coming out. Come on, out you come. Well, my viewers want to see what I'm on about. No, it's taking the mic. No, it's not letting me do it. Okay, basically all I was going to show you. When you drop those out, you have these coloured foams go right the way through. Okay, that's roughly a thickness. So they go right the way through this little holder, and you can push them out from the back and then cut off whatever thickness you want and fit it to the hair of that hook to keep it floating upright. And the beauty of these is obviously they contain the prime colours, the black, the pink and the yellow, very popular with the zig rigs and with the carps when you're catching them. So you can cut off, say, a little chunk of black and cap it with a little chunk of pink, and that gives it a nice floating possibility with your hooks. So 10 foot zig rigs on a roll. There's about 3 or 4 of those I think on there, so that's something that will be in your little prize. And of course, if you like a bit of mugging like I do, catching the carp right off the surface and things like that, then I'm also going to pop in some floater line. This is by Corda. You know I'm a great advocate of Corda and Guru. I wouldn't be giving you guys rubbish stuff. Corda Cruiser Control floater line. This is an 8-pound breaking strain, so it's a good middle of the road, all-purpose coarse fishing floater line, and as I say, I use it for carp, and also use the 10-pound one as well for carp. And this line is designed purely to float on the surface. So if you're using, let me see, the Corda Cruiser or the Corda Interceptor float, that's a long, almost like a plastic straw with a bulbous weight on the end, and that's designed to hold your line on the surface. This line goes with that and will then float on the surface to your fake dog biscuit or whatever, and you throw out your other dog biscuits and it's hidden in amongst those floating dog biscuits as your fake bait. But this line is designed basically to float on the surface. So you're going to have one of these, you're going to have a zig rigs, you're going to have some pellets, and you have a good selection of the floats, self-cockers and all that, and that fabulous special Paolo wood float in amongst them. So there's your competition stock. Do give me your best competition stories. So Happy New Year everybody. Do enjoy having a good old rack through the brain and come up with some really good stories. And if you get a good old belly laugh from me, Rob, then you could be in the contention. And I'll let you know somewhere around 15th, 16th of Jan. I'll pop another video out for something, and we'll let you know who the competition winner is. Thanks very much for watching. Happy New Year, everyone.